Matthew, going to start off with a bit of a dad joke for this interview. NOAH See, NOAH Do. It is the illustrious drummer of none other than UK's post-metal giants Conjurer. Noah, how are you doing on this fine morning, midday? What time is it over there?
Yeah, morning. Yeah, yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, all good. I appreciate the dad joke. That was a good one. Yeah, all good here. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks. So, how are things going in the Conjurer camp at the moment? How's the atmosphere within the band?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just kind of waiting. Well, we've got lots of stuff to just tie up before the album's out. We've got a few bits of media, and then we've got like an event that we're doing, like a listening release event that we're doing early next week. So just kind of getting that sorted and ready to go, and then go straight into a tour. So we've got songs to learn and songs to practice and stuff. So yeah,
Busy,
excited to
busy.
get going. But yeah, a lot of prep.
Yeah, I saw you guys have a run of dates coming up on the 28th, which is closing in pretty soon. Actually, it's 2 weeks from today. You've got your first
Wow.
date in France, and then you've got a whole slew of dates coming up by the looks of
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned you mentioned you guys are gonna learn the songs, so you guys have also got to fit in rehearsal amongst all that too.
Yeah.
Mm.
When I say learn, I mean we've all tracked the songs.
Yeah.
Which seems still pretty fresh in everyone's minds, but just going over it all again. Yeah, we're actually. I mean, it's kind of landed quite nice. We're rehearsing on the day of the album's release, which is cool for us to actually be
Awesome.
together to do that. So, whether that means we'll share a beer or share a packet of crisps or something, I don't know how that goes, but
Good,
it'll be good to
good old packet
finally
of
get it
crisps.
over the finish line
Yeah.
to then
Yeah.
start another race to promote it. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
And how has the process been for you guys? Because I saw that you guys had made mention that you wanted to actually take a bit of a step back and take more time to record this one as opposed to your last LP. Um, yeah. How was the songwriting process for you guys for this album? Because it touches on some quite pretty hard hitting and personal themes too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it seemed pretty smooth. There's lots of times, obviously, with every process where things aren't working, like song wise, or you get this, you just hate everything you've written, and then you really love it again, and all this kind of stuff.
Mm.
Um, but for this one, we tried to. I mean, this is what the time that we had. We wanted to take as much time, obviously, to write the songs, but pardon me, but also to keep it kind of open ended. So when we went in to record, we had a bit of time to
Mm.
discuss options and make decisions in the studio. Not super big decisions, but like
Yeah.
a lot of the time we would write. We could write a song and then um, have three different ways that it could go. And we'll try and write a vague version of all those different options. And 9 times out of 10, everyone had completely different opinions on where that should go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
so just like jamming them out, feeling them out, you might go, actually, my idea doesn't feel great to play, or when we're in the room together, it should do that thing, or oh no, actually, I'm 100% right and you're wrong, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, going into the studio and having a bit of that pressure, because as far as I'm aware, the last couple albums, the band's always been very meticulous about writing every single note, every single lyric before going into the studio. So it was quite cool to keep that open, changing drum fills or changing lyrics or changing vocal cadences or bass lines or you know guitar
Mm.
lines and stuff like that, just on the fly. Uh, but just trusting your gut.
Yeah.
If I'll change a drum fill, that could in turn change how a vocal is performed or
Mm.
written. 3 weeks down the line when we get to tracking that. So yeah, just kind of giving us a bit more time to get creative and get fun with it, really, because that's what
Mm.
it's all about.
And that sounds like a good way to do it. Like it sounds like a very iterative process. And it's good to hear too, like you mentioned, like things like having your input and say for instance, a fill that might change the a vocal line later. I mean, often when people think of songwriting, they think vocalist and maybe vocalist and guitarist. For you as a drummer, what did you feel your main kind of songwriting influences were this time around for the album, other than hashing it out in the jam room, of course?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest, because I play a bit of guitar, bass, I've got all the gubbins to demo and things like that. And when I
Mm.
first started, first joined the band, as I like to do with any kind of band I join, I'll try and get in that headspace to
Yeah.
kind of write, and a lot of that will be listening to, asking influences and checking out as much new music as possible, revisiting old music, um, trying to learn some of their riffs as well, to then find
Mm.
like, okay, well, you do this on the guitar, blah blah blah. Recording demos, sending them to the band, kind of unprompted, um, and 9 times out of 10, them sucking usually.
Mm.
Um, and I kind of found this way, like more than any other band, it's like that I've been in. Having a guitarist like Danny is really like the heart and the soul of the musical portion of the band.
Mm.
Uh, I kind of felt, okay, my efforts are best used here to kind of produce and work with their material.
Mm.
So they would come to mine and we would, you know, say, what have you got? They'll go, I've got a riff and a bridge, or it could be anything from 30 seconds of music to sometimes there was like 2 minutes, and we
Mm.
would sit down, record all those ideas, and then just cut what's good, what's bad, and I would sit there and go, okay, well, this bit's really cool, this bit sucks, get rid of that. It should do this instead. Let's try and write a riff right now between the two of us that does this, or even if it's like a rhythmic feel, like this bit sounds really cool, and then it should go, you know, in this tempo or
Yeah.
this feel, and then we just try and write riffs to that, and then when things were getting a bit more fleshed out, we had a few more songs that were getting closer to being finished. That's when we kind of would, not necessarily like we weren't opening it up to everyone else, but I think just Danny and I were the most keen to get going straight away.
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, we kind of put it to the rest of the guys. We were always keeping them updated anyway. But
Mm.
yeah, that's when we would start to like jam them together and go, okay, we've actually got some material that we could fill a rehearsal with. Let's do that, and then talk about how it felt or what anyone would change or that kind of stuff. So it was quite. I said it was quite collaborative. It was a lot of you know Danny's kind of material, but it was great fun to step back a little bit and not pressure myself with. I've been involved with bands and stuff where I felt like I've had to contribute because it's not going a certain way or it's not moving as
Right.
fast as I want it to or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
And then that just turns into, you know, leave me alone. I'm doing everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to relieve the control freak in me and go, well, this person's already doing all this amazing stuff, Um, so why would I mess with that? All
Mm.
I'll do is say my opinion, make that known, and try and guide it as to what I think it should do. But
Mm.
I'm not going to ultimately sabotage something, just for the glory.
Mm. And in terms of, I guess, the themes too, like we've talked a bit about the kind of going through the organic nature of the process in terms of the songwriting. How is it for you, and how is it for you as a band exploring? I mean, it's literally a lyrical theme of the album is exploring identity, with Danny's exploration of being non-binary and diagnosis of autism as well. Yeah, I'm just interested to hear how that sort of what the response was within the band from that news.
Well, to be honest, the because a lot of Pathos kind of touches on some of the same things as well.
Mm.
Maybe not as kind of
directly.
front facing. Yeah, not as
Mm,
directly. Yeah,
mm,
even like the artwork for Pathos, I think they might have put that kind of together around the time that Danny got their diagnosis.
mm,
But it's kind of like, so I've got a record of it up there, so I'm looking up there. But it's like you know, black and white painting, and then within the face, there's all these kind of bright contrasting colors, and that's kind of like you go, oh, without really realizing it, we've done a painting of something similar to like the autistic experience of,
mm, mm,
you know, from the outside, you might look like you're just not paying attention or you're not focusing or you're not interested. But within your head, there's just all these, colors and things going on. But yeah, of course, I mean, like if anyone's really strongly interested in something in particular, I think those things are to be celebrated,
yeah.
Um, yeah, especially like obviously, like I was saying, Danny's one of the driving forces of the musical side of the band. Um, so it's like, well, this is obviously kind of inspiring you, and that's great. That's great that they have inspiration from it, as opposed to we try and hide it, or I don't really want to talk
Mm,
about that. Which, if they don't want to talk about it, that's absolutely fine. But
mm,
the fact that they do want to talk about it is great. We're here to support that, and I think the big part of it is having lyrics, because I think this album's their best lyrics that they've written.
mm,
And Brady obviously had a big hand putting that together as well. Brady kind of did what I did for the music, but for the vocals as well. As the other singer, it makes sense for
mm,
them to get involved or to want to get involved with that side of things. But yeah, I think the lyrics aren't. I think the topics are way more direct, but I think the way that the lyrics are written, you could kind of put that into your own
oh, absolutely.
ideas and
Yeah.
your own experiences.
Mm,
Obviously, a song like "Let Us Live" is pretty on the nose, pretty direct, but that's good. We want it to be that for that
mm,
particular song. But a lot of the
mm,
other ones, they are driven towards a certain topic, and it probably will be one of those albums where we can say, "Hey, that song is about that. That song is about that." But
mm,
I feel like you could read the lyrics and put your own experiences to them as well.
mm. And how about for yourself as a drummer? Like, how do you feel Conjurer helps you like express yourself? And I'm talking less in terms of identity and that sort of thing, just generally. Like, I'm just curious to hear about how you're kind of yeah, how the creative expression drumming for Conjurer helps you as well, or
Yeah.
otherwise,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, hitting the drums really hard is fun. That's a big one
And you got it when you're
because
playing post-metal type music too, don't you? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's fun because you got a bit of that, and then you've got the extreme metal stuff as well. So it's
Yeah.
really kind of the perfect band for me to do everything that I want to do in drumming.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I love playing extreme metal drums and double kicks and blast beats and stuff.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything that probably makes me sound like a caveman. There's not much better to me than nailing, a run of double kicks on the drums. It's satisfying, but
If
then
that's the
also it
case,
doesn't
I'm a
have to
fellow
be.
caveman.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect as well,
Yeah.
because that's not the vibe of the band. If it is
Mm.
perfect or if it is really tight, great. If it's
Mm.
not, well, my excuse is, well, it's not that kind of band.
Mm.
It's just a vibe thing. So it doesn't have to be, like Archspire or any of these like super tech death bands where it has to be locked in and gridded. Um,
Yeah.
it can be human. It can move. It can speed up. It can slow down, um, based on how you're feeling that night. You
Yeah.
could. There's lots of sections in the set where we'll slow it down, and I'll go particularly slow because I really am feeling it, or I'll just keep playing nice and fast because I want to go home or whatever. But
Mm.
there's yeah, lots of yeah, human kind of interaction with the music is really cool. Um, but yeah,
Sounds like you guys have a really natural kind of beat on like everyone's kind of in pocket too. I mean, to be at for you, like from the perspective of a drummer, being able to sort of push and pull like that, and for the guys to respond accordingly, it's I think that just speaks to a band that, everyone's really in tune with each other musically too. Pardon another bad pun.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think it's just from playing. When I started playing with the band, like I did struggle at first,
Mm,
particularly like with the slower kind of doomy, sludgier stuff. That's not
yeah.
something I've had too much experience with. Like I played in bands that have post elements and stuff, but the drums have usually been pretty driving through those.
Mm,
Uh, so that kind of thing, playing slow was kind of the toughest bit. Um, so it's yeah, it takes time, takes awareness as well. Just like
mm,
being honest with each other is a big part of it as well. You
mm,
know, we come off stage and someone's like, "That was way too slow," or "That was perfect," or "That was way too fast," or oh, "I wish we did this," and everyone listening to that and
mm,
discussing it, and we might turn around and go, "Well, you're wrong. It was great. Like, what's wrong with you?" Or we might go, "Yeah, actually, someone might think, yeah, let's try that because maybe it could work." You know, um, I think that's a big thing this time around, especially with this album as well. Is like just hearing everything out, hearing every idea out,
mm.
because you never know. It might not be the idea, but it might inspire something else, or you don't know where it's gonna go. Um,
Mm. And you can hear that in the new album. It's not out till 24th, or is it the 24th? I believe it's the 24th of October here.
yeah,
Um, and I've been lucky enough to have a bit of an advanced listen. That's one of my few perks of my otherwise unpaid music journal position. Um, and I think the way that I would describe it is it feels more like I don't know, almost like meditative, not simpler, but more meditative. And
mm.
and I'd say you guys have always felt organic to me in terms of your style. I don't know if that's something you'd agree with. That's just sort of like a slight difference um that I picked up in listening to the new album. It feels like there's a lot more kind of comfort with use of space.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. They we kind of deliberately, I think, Pathos, the previous record from, obviously I my experience listening to it. This, I wasn't on it, but
Mm,
hearing the guys' experience and my experience playing the songs, it's written in a time where it was very insular during the pandemic, and you
yeah.
know it's very easy for you to just put as many notes in as possible. And I wrote an album with a previous band during the pandemic, and funny enough, did exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
where all the songs were way too complicated
Yeah.
and way too much going on. Not to say that Pathos is overcomplicated or has way too much going on,
Mm,
but I think it's the limit for that side of the band, like the technicality kind of thing.
mm,
Um, so Pathos was, as opposed to Mire, Pathos was the band exploring its own sound and its own kind of color palette. Whereas Mire was like, here's a group of guys that just love Mastodon and Gojira and Converge and stuff. So yeah, this album was kind of like, well, let's not ignore what was made on Pathos. Let's take that and then make something that's got a bit more energy and a bit more, like you say, organic kind of feel.
yeah.
And a big part of that was, well, if we tone down the technical side of it, maybe 10%, and it still sounds great, then perfect. It means we can actually put our energy into playing it as opposed to, just 100% focusing on not messing up a riff or messing up a drum part. It's cool. We've got to concentrate on playing, but we can put our bodies into it and we can, like I say, put our energy into it.
Mm,
But also sonically, like there was a lot of sections that we felt would have hit harder if they were a bit simpler.
right.
And there's lots of parts on this album I always think of. there's a song, The Searing Glow, which kind of starts really just like the fourth track on the record, I think.
Yeah.
Starts super crazy, converge kind of thing, jump kicks, blast beats, all that good stuff. Um, and it's kind of gets into this midsection that then just becomes super simple, just like, well, the lyric on the drop is like monolith. It's like this monolithic kind of just yeah, huge. The heaviest thing on the record. I think it's the heaviest,
Mm.
one of the heaviest things on a Conjurer record. Um, and it's just really simple. It's just like, you know, two guitars. I think it's like double track bass as well on that bit. Just like one note, screw you, sono kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Um, and yeah, it's like way heavier than any of the craziness. Obviously, it comes after some crazy stuff, so it's the context of that. But that's
Mm.
what it's all about, you know, dynamics, context, and then keeping things simpler in the production so that the mix can be just like absolutely pummeled and nothing's gonna screw with anything else, you know. If there's lots of notes going on, you can't really juice it as much, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the thinking.
You know, Noah, I think that last sort of 20, 30 seconds there could be great advice that you could clip into a reel and put up for anyone looking to start a metal band in 2025. I think it can be easy to be tempted to become like the next, Archfire plus, or,
Yeah,
Meshuggah on steroids. But I think you're right. And I think that's something that you guys have achieved well on this album. Really big fan of the album, and I'm looking forward to the public's reception to it because I think they're going to enjoy it. How have you found the reception to the first few? Just before we go, how have you found the reception so far with to the first couple of singles? Seems like people are pretty into it based on like comments and just word of mouth, that kind of thing. How have you
yeah,
felt about the
it's been really
buzz so
great.
far? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's hard to gauge the buzz sometimes when you're in it every day,
Yeah.
but yeah, it seems cool. Really, was just excited to get some music out there, and you know, we take a while to release albums, and that's, you know, obviously not great, but it means it's just what we, you know, it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so it's good to know that there are people still waiting for new Conjurer music, but yeah, it was just really cool to get out there, especially Let Us Live had like such a big kind of wave of messages and yeah, just people really enjoying the song and the message as well, which is such a big part of it. I'm glad that didn't get missed or go over
Mm.
everyone's heads, you know.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, I feel like we're a band that pride ourselves on albums, um, you know, and I think we like that because we like making full records.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have asked me. I just said like my favorite stuff is still to come, you know, on the album. So I'm kind of just really excited to get it out and just see, yeah, what everyone's like you'd be saying, you know, see what everyone thinks about the whole record as opposed to
Mm.
just some of the songs here, some of the songs there. Because I was, it's funny, just when we were recording it, uh, we recorded the drums up in Leeds, like north of England. I live down by London, so it's like 4 hour drive or something.
Mm.
And on the drive up, I was like, you know what? Just to triple check this album doesn't suck, I'm going to listen to Mire, Pathos, and then the new stuff, the demos at least. And it's funny listening to them as full records again for the first time in a while. It's like, okay, this album had some really cool, like Mire's got like a great flow front to back. Um, Pathos has these great songs in there. Songs very long. There's kind of moments on there where it is there's stuff in the songs that Maya would never have touched upon, you know, uh, which is amazing. And then, but it can be a bit of a longer listen because it's a longer album. The
Mm.
songs are a bit longer. There's a lot going on. Um, and then we listen to the new one. It's like, yeah, no, this is great. This is kind of the best of both worlds. You know, it's interesting and there's lots of things touched upon, but doesn't overstay its welcome, and there's a really what we feel is like a good flow. Um, so yeah, just kind of the pride of the full experience. So I think that for me at least is like what I'm most looking forward to.
Awesome. Well, I think it's going to be another great addition to the UK post-metal canon, man. So I am definitely looking forward to it. One last question before I go, just touching back before, circling back before, you mentioned that because we've spoken a bit about like using space and tempo a bit more, and that you found that you had to sort of adjust to that slower, more kind of like post-metal side of the metal spectrum. For an aspiring drummer or for someone who is possibly playing something faster or heavier or a different genre and is wanting to enter like the slower, doomier post-metal kind of realm, or even just play something that's a bit of a mix like Conjurer, what kind of tidbits of advice might you have for such a person? Not
Uh,
me, I'm playing bass.
all
You-
right, fair play. Yeah, lucky. Yeah, my advice is play bass. You don't have to carry as much stuff. But
Don't do it.
uh, yeah, uh, trying to think really. Just taking the time, I think, to get comfortable in
Mm.
the area that you're playing in is such a big thing. People just want to play. They've got a goal, which is amazing. They want to play a particular style of music, or they want to play a particular song, or anything like that. Um, but there is a great virtue in the long run with just like you're saying, or with my experience. I struggled playing those really slow, open kind of things, and it just took me a bit of time to live in that space for a while to
Mm.
make it work. And I think because of that, I feel more comfortable playing those kinds of grooves and those kinds of sections. And because of that, the band feel more comfortable playing with me. Uh, because drums, as much as it's a kit and we're trying to play the drums, I always think drums are they amplify our kind of feelings. So if we're agitated or we're not quite comfortable, all you're doing is you're playing something that's going to make that 10 times louder. So,
Yeah.
if you're playing and you're a bit nervous, it's going to turn out a bit stilted and weird and not comfortable. So
Mm.
if you're comfortable, the drums will sound comfortable and the groove will sound comfortable. Um, so whatever you're doing, even if it's super fast, you know, unless it's like punk music where you want it to feel really uncomfortable, I would just sit and take the time to really live in that space that you're trying to operate in.
Fantastic. And we'll leave you there because you may have more interviews yet to come. But thank you, Zen Master Noah, for your sage advice. That was actually a really nice way to cap it off. So, really enjoyed chatting and look forward to seeing more with the album. We'll have the details of the new album plus links to the singles, all that sort of stuff up on our website. But for now, Noah, I'm going to let you go and take it easy and have a great day, man. Thanks for
You too,
joining
man.
us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
Cheers.